You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we suspect the Raiders are going to be in the market for a quarterback at some point in this draft. However, we also know the head coach, Antonio Pierce, he's very high on Aiden O'Connell. In fact, he made some comments a couple of days ago at the annual meeting talking about that, far as he's concerned, Aiden O'Connell deserves a legitimate shot at the starting quarterback job. Now, I think they're picking too far down to get in the McCarthy, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, obviously Caleb Williams, and maybe even the Bo Nix conversation because, you know, Denver, the Vikings, somebody is going to jump in there for either Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, Drake May. You could very well see 5 quarterbacks go in the first 12 picks. But I think by the time the Raiders get to 13, they're going to be gone. I do, unless they decide to trade up, and I don't think they're going to do that. But Antonio Pierce has made some comments about JJ McCarthy, a guy that is skyrocketed up the boards of the NFL draft. And you may be like, well, I don't get it. Why is he just now such a late mover? Well, one, everybody could be lying. Okay, that is certainly a possibility this time of the year. Everybody could be lying. Number 2, you have head coaches that did not get to dive into these quarterbacks. Why? Because of the season going on. Okay, so the head coaches just got really good and involved the last month. Breaking down film, looking at these quarterbacks, going to the combine, attending pro days. And so you've got these head coaches like a Sean Payton, like a Kevin O'Connell, okay, that are getting involved in this process. You know, some of these offensive coordinators, some of these head coaches that are offensive-minded are just now seeing some of these quarterbacks for the first time, let's say the last 2 to 4 weeks, right? Really, really digging into them. And after they've dug into him, we found out that JJ McCarthy's a guy. And Antonio Pierce has come out, and he's made some comments about JJ McCarthy. And he's got JJ as a top 3 quarterback in this draft. All right? Now, I think there's a lot of things that people are looking at. I know some people have made like a Mac Jones comparison. Look, JJ is much more athletic than a Mac Jones. His arm is better than a Mac Jones, all right? He's not, Mac Jones is not a comp for this guy. Now, I will tell you who I think he is a comp for, and this may or may not scare the crap out of somebody. He feels like a souped-up version of Alex Smith. If Alex Smith had a little bit stronger arm and was even more athletic than he was, and Alex was pretty athletic, then I think you're looking at sort of JJ McCarthy. He could turn out to be somebody better. I don't think it's a dramatic stretch that Jim Harbaugh liked him so much, and Jim Harbaugh liked Alex a lot too. Rumors of Michigan quarterback JJ McCarthy soaring up 2024 NFL draft boards have gained so much traction that his odds of being the number 2 overall selection have dramatically shifted virtually overnight. Yeah, by the way, on a lot of betting boards, he is now number 2. That's interesting. And again, the Sharps, they're hearing from people inside organizations. Now, could that be a smokescreen? Maybe. As much money is involved? I doubt it. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported that he expects the Commanders to select J.J. McCarthy with the 2nd selection, based on conversations he's had with rival executives, quote, who know Adam Peters, the Washington general manager, well. Now, that conflicts with Albert Breer, who says that Jaden Daniels is a leader in the clubhouse. By the way, Mike Lombardi, I listened to his pod today. He's very high on Jaden Daniels. He is. He believes he's a guy. And Jaden Daniels, I saw before I shot this video, he's up to 210 pounds. Yeah, I thought his frame looked bigger yesterday. He's going to be a guy, folks. However, Los Angeles Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce made his thoughts on McCarthy tremendously clear and seems higher on him than most. And it feels like a guy like Antonio Pierce is going to be big on looking at a quarterback that won big in college. But I don't think McCarthy is going to be around for the Raiders. And again, they're wanting to give Aiden O'Connell this job. But Antonio Pierce also made some comments about Gardner Minshew. And we know how Gardner works. He comes in, he's supposed to be the backup. Next thing you know, you look up, he's the starting quarterback. And he plays pretty well, frankly. And if they're playing really great defense and they're running the ball well, that becomes interesting. It does. The Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce said this week that Aiden O'Connell has earned the right to compete for the starting quarterback job in the offseason. But the 2023 fourth-round pick is going to have to overcome Gardner Minshew to win the job. The Raiders signed Minshew to a 2-year contract earlier this month after a successful run, piloting the Colts in the wake of Anthony Richardson's season-ending surgery. They almost made the playoffs with Gardner Minshew. That run included a late-season win over the Raiders that Pierce cited, along with Minshew's overall makeup, while discussing what he likes about the older quarterback this week, and I still don't think he's all that old. Quote, one thing about Gardner that you see throughout his career, he finds a way, right? So that's going to make our room better, Pierce said via the team's website. He's been through a lot of adversity. You want that experience as well in there. So to me, he's a good fit, and he's a culture fit. This Raiders team is big on culture. Wild boy right there. I like his personality. Man, I love Antonio Pierce. The coach between Minshew and O'Connell will be one of the first big calls since being hired on a permanent basis in Las Vegas. Well, I don't know if it'll be solely Antonio Pierce's call. A lot of times you will have the general manager involved with some things like roster, even day of game. I kind of hate that, frankly, but that's in some cases there's general managers that do get involved in game day rosters, who's starting, who the starting quarterback's gonna be. And I do believe at the end of the day, you're talking starting quarterback. Man, I just feel like that ought to be the head coach and the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach. A three-headed monster that makes that decision for the best quarterback on the roster. Do you really think John Lynch tells Kyle Shanahan, I want you to start Trey Lance? You talked me into drafting him. I don't have to play him. He sucks. I'm just saying, and I'm using it as an example, and that's why Brock Purdy, a 7th-round pick, is now maybe already a top 12 quarterback, top 10 quarterback, top 8 quarterback. Could I go higher? Maybe. It's funny how much disrespect that kid gets. 31 touchdowns. Yeah, you suck. You don't deserve a car. No, I mean, come on. Anyway, that's a rant for another day. But you see my point. Do I think the Raiders could take a quarterback? Yeah. But I told you I thought it was going to be Michael Penix Jr. if they did. And I don't think that's a bad pick. I really don't. Now, they're going to have to probably get him late in the first, which means a trade back in, or early second somehow with a trade up. Otherwise, Penix Jr. is going to be gone to somebody too. I think he's going to be good. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.